All right. Anyway, Giannis, Rob G, I want you to read it. I'm going to set you up, Rob. This quote got under Rob Parker's skin. What's the state phrase? In his craw, or how does that go? Got in my craw.
Got his panties in a bunch is what
he
it did.
Definitely got his panties in a
doubt.
bunch. And that was an ugly sight, I tell you, seeing those panties in a bunch.
And I got the crotchless panties on today.
Oh, God. Really too much information. Rob G, tell us what Giannis said.
Giannis speaking to the TV station in Greece, he said, this was translated from Google Translate, said, quote, if LeBron, KD, or AD wants to join me in Milwaukee, I'll be happy. I don't care about being number 1, number 2, or number 3. Kobe told me to sacrifice if I want to win and be great. LeBron's the best in the world. MVP is another story. I can tell that he is the best and my idol. He's 17 years in the league.
All right, first of all, before you hit this, Rob, when Kobe told him to sacrifice, he definitely wasn't telling him give up your team.
No, because he was
He
talking
definitely
about
wasn't telling
how
you to
can
be
I
second
get
or
Shaq
third.
out of L.A.
Exactly.
so that I could be the guy and have a chance to, because Kobe knew, and then people don't want to acknowledge it. Kobe knew if he played his whole career with Shaq, he would never get the shine that he would have wanted. And that was, everybody knew it. Kobe wanted to be able to go it alone, so he wasn't always lumped in with Shaq.
Well, the interesting thing is he wouldn't have gotten, you're right, you said it the perfect way. He wouldn't have gotten the shine he wanted.
Right.
But I
Not
do
that he
think,
wouldn't get shine.
Let's say he and Shaq had won, stayed together longer, and they both, they end up with 5 championships. I actually think, Rob, that Kobe would have got as much shine. Well, let me put it this way. As much shine from the general public. Now, because Kobe's not in the general public's GOAT conversation. He's in the conversation as an all-time great top 10 player. And I think he would have still been that had he won 5 championships with Shaq. But I have to amend my statement because Rob and you and I have talked to enough players. There are a lot of players that put him in the GOAT conversation. And I don't think that would have happened had he played with Shaq.
Yep.
Most of his career. So I'll give you that. But anyway, what Kobe meant, and I don't want to stay on Kobe because that's not the topic, but what Kobe meant to Giannis was you got to sacrifice. Kobe's getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
Going
That's
to
what
work
he's
out,
talking
right?
about.
You know what I
Right.
mean? Like
Right.
Kobe didn't mean be a second or third option because Kobe wasn't willing to do that.
It would have never
that's
happened.
What he meant. No, but go, Rob, you didn't like these comments from Giannis.
I really didn't, and they bothered me, only from the standpoint that this guy has just won back-to-back MVPs. He got better, Chris, from one MVP to the second. Yes, they flamed out in the playoffs. It didn't work out, but his team had the best record in the NBA regular season, and he's already acquiescing to other people and saying, it doesn't matter if you're second or third. I just don't. That's not what I want to hear from my guy. I want him. He don't have to verbalize it and say, oh, no, I got to be the number. But acquiescing to other people when you're the best guy in the league, so young, Chris, with so much to grow and build on. Okay, you're not a finished product. How old is he? 25, Chris?
25, yep.
He's 25. You got 10 more years, minimum 10 more years. In your prime, 25 to 35, you already have 2 MVPs. You don't have to, strip your game all the way down and do something different. All you need to do is get that one shot, Chris. That's all you need to do when your team needs a basket. That go-to shot or move. That's all you have to add into your repertoire. And you're talking about acquiescing to other people. Oh, well, wowsy, woo-woo. I'll play with other people. It's okay. Wowsy, woo-woo. It doesn't matter if I'm the first or the third. Go ask Chris Bosh, who gave up his career, and ask him how he's feeling. When he was out there, standing out there on the three-point line, right, counting the attendance while Dwayne Wade and LeBron James were playing. Ask him. There's no way a guy with this much talent should be talking about this at this point in his career. He's too young He has too many weapons and too many years to build to get better, to break through. The only thing I liked is that he said if they want to come to Milwaukee, fine. I did like that part. Like, you coming to me, I ain't going nowhere. But I did not like that he was ready to pass the baton to other people and take a back seat.
Well, there's a lot to say. First of all, Chris Bosh. Look, obviously Bosh is not as good as Giannis. And was not as good as Giannis. But, Rob, Chris Bosh is very likely to be a Hall of Famer. And he's known as a champion. But had he stayed in Toronto, who knows if he would have got another teammate with him or anything. But I don't think he was on the Hall of Fame track. He was really good, 22 and 11 and all that, but probably wasn't going to be a Hall of Famer. Now, nobody would have been thinking about Chris Bosh. But now, Chris Bosh, wow, three-time champion or two-time champion with LeBron and Wade. And so I'll say that. The other thing is this. I don't look down on Giannis for saying this. I agree with you that I liked him saying if they come to Milwaukee, because obviously there's that talk out there that, Anthony Davis is waiting to sign to see if Giannis signs. And if Giannis doesn't sign with Milwaukee, AD will take a one-year deal so the Lakers would have room to get Giannis there as well. So that's out there. So maybe Giannis saying, they can come to Milwaukee is him saying, I'm not going to join you, but if you want to come join me, hey, it's fine. Knowing that they won't. So maybe there's some of that. I kind of like that, like you. Let me say this, too. I hope to high heaven he doesn't go to the Lakers, and I don't think he will. I don't even think there's going to be that much of a consideration for him. But if he did, or even just keeping it where you're at, Rob, with this says something about his mentality. I don't think it's any different. Now, look, there are Michael Jordans and there are Kobe Bryants who would never want to be second fiddle under any circumstances. And okay, but there's a host of other all-time greats, even better than Kobe, who were willing to do that. LeBron James. I talked to LeBron a few months before he went to Miami. And I think I've said this before, Rob. I wrote a blog in November of that last season in Cleveland, an article for ESPN.com, saying LeBron needs to consider going to Miami to play with Dwayne Wade because Boston's got a big three. The Lakers had stacked up because, you had Bynum who was looking like he was going to be a great player with Kobe and all of that. You had these teams that, were getting loaded. And I said, he can't get anybody to come to Cleveland with him. And now I didn't think it would happen at all. But I talked to LeBron before I wrote that article. He told me this. And now remember, he was an MVP. He said, man, I could play with anybody. I said, could you play with Wade? Because y'all kind of play similar, blah, blah, blah. He said, I could play with anybody. He said, if Detroit had drafted me second, say Carmelo went first to Cleveland, and Detroit had drafted me, he said, I could have played with them because I don't have to be the man. I don't have to be the leading scorer. You can debate whether or not you think that's true, but that's what LeBron told me. And so then even when he went to Miami, Rob, I was one that said, look, everybody kills him. They say he wants to be the man. He's giving up being the man. He's saying, everybody called me the king. I want to be one of three kings. Remember, that was the whole thing, three kings. So,
but
LeBron
the other two don't have
attitude.
it tattooed on his back. He's the only one.
Right. But LeBron had that attitude that Giannis displayed with this quote. Dwayne Wade gave up his team. After that first year, he went to LeBron and said, hey, the only way we're going to win is you to be the man. So he gave up his team. He was a winner. James Harden's willing to go to Brooklyn. I mean, I'm sure he thinks he's going to be the second guy to KD or maybe the first, but he's willing to go to Brooklyn and play with two other stars. David Robinson gave up his crew to Tim Duncan. Kevin Durant went to freaking Golden State.
But it's different than a guy who just won back-to-back, who's improved.
Not for LeBron. LeBron had won MVPs in Cleveland.
But all those other guys you're talking about, Harden has failed in Houston. Harden is now looking for a life raft. That's what he's looking for, Chris. So I get why Harden would acquiesce, but I'm talking about the guy who's the reigning two-time MVP, who's 25 years old. He hasn't played 10 years in the league, and he's scared to death that he's going to get out of the league and not win. That's what LeBron wound up being. I mean, he was, remember that old thing we watched when we were kids, Scared Straight, to try to keep you out of prison?
Right.
Like LeBron, that's what got to LeBron. He was scared to death. Oh my God, I played these years and I'm going to be one of these guys who never wins a title. Me and you both agree that LeBron would have won in Cleveland had he just stayed there. It would have worked out for him
He would've
because
won
he's that
something.
good.
Yeah, eventually,
Because he's that good. Eventually, he would have won a championship or two. Who
But
knows?
see, here's another way to look at it, though, Rob. And you said you're right. He's 25. He's got a long time to play. But he could look at it like this: LeBron ain't playing but a couple more years. And again, I don't think he's going to LA, and I hope he doesn't go to LA. But just for the sake of argument, he could be thinking, I go to LA, win a ring with LeBron and AD, get that monkey off my back, because we know that's probably what KD was thinking. Man, let me get this monkey off my back. I got my titles. Now I'm out of here. All right, I'm going to go in Brooklyn and try to win it. And if I don't, I still got 2 rings. But Giannis could be thinking, let me get this ring, get the monkey off my back, and then LeBron's going to retire. And it's going to be me and AD, and we can win more championships. Now, again, I'm not saying that's his. I don't think he's going to the Lakers. But as a young guy, you have that luxury to think that too, Rob. He's not joining a bunch of other 25-year-olds. In joining LeBron, it would be a guy that's only going to play a few more years. So you could say, kind of like AD, let me win a title as the second guy, maybe 2 as a second guy, and then eventually it'll be my team. And LeBron will either be the second guy or he'll be out of the league. Did you lose a little bit of respect for Giannis? Think he might lack the testicular fortitude that it takes? That's what Rob said, not me.
Just a little bit. I mean, I don't want to pull the covers all the way off, just a little bit.
All right, 877-99 on Fox.
All right, Chris in Jacksonville, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Chris?
Man, I'm doing good. Thank you guys for taking my call. No, I didn't lose respect for Giannis because based on where his game is right now, he's not one of the upper echelon players that can put a team or a franchise on his back and score in multiple ways and have a consistent jump shot and make those around him better and elevate their game too, which I realize is a very high standard, but he doesn't meet that standard right now. He has the potential to.
Chris, he's
so if he wants to win an
25.
NBA championship,
He's 25 years old, coming off back-to-back MVPs, and he got better the second year.
MVPs are beautiful, but winning NBA championships
No,
is
but that's
quite
not my
another thing.
point. My point isn't that he doesn't need help. I'm not saying that he's talking about he should just do it himself, but I'll take a backseat to somebody else. Nah, I'm not feeling it.
Right now, Rob, there are only 4. We talk about number 1 guys, this and that, right? There's 4 guys on the planet who have proven that they can be the number 1 guy on a championship team. LeBron, KD, Kawhi, and Steph. That's it. I mean, we can talk about Harden is great, Anthony Davis is great, Jason Tatum and all these other people we want to throw out there. Only 4 have proven it. So we'll see if Giannis is one of those guys and adds to that number.
Right. All right, let's go to Mark in Sacramento. Mark, you're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio.
What's going on, gentlemen?
Hey,
Hey, guys.
You just threw him off. Good job, Mark.
That was good, Mark.
You
got
recovered.
it. You're getting there. Yeah.
I told you guys I'd get there. hey, real quick, I don't look bad on him on the young man for saying it. I'll tell you why. Over the last 20 years, there's been an environment created about gotta have those rings. Chris, you say it all the time. 6 rings, Jordan, 6 rings, Brady. So there is an environment, and I'm not talking about you, Chris. I'm just talking about
I agree with
the
you.
environment. Yeah, the environment. And he's watching guys team up all around him. He's watching KD and Kyrie coming in now. They were talking about getting Harden. He sees AD out there with LeBron. The pressure of that young man, he's going, wait, hold on a minute. I can't keep watching this and think I could do it by myself. I know what you're saying, Rob.
I'm not saying I
but
want
what
him to
is-
do it, but
I
Mark,
know.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying he should do it by himself, but no, I'm not acquiescing to anybody when I'm the two-time back-to-back MVP at 25 years old. That's all I'm saying.
I think Mark makes a good point, Rob. Remember, you said Giannis he's 25. He'll be 26 on December 6th. So when did LeBron go to Miami? 10 years ago. He says LeBron's his idol. So, I mean, he was a little kid watching LeBron, right? And so Giannis has come up. And again, I don't want him to go to the Lakers, but I'm just saying, Giannis, Rob, has come up in an NBA where all the superstars are joining. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, what you and I talk about with, Jordan didn't want to join Ewing and Ewing didn't want to join Barkley and Isaiah Thomas, didn't want to join Magic and so on and so forth. They know nothing of that. They can look back nostalgically or in history at that. But he's seen LeBron go join Wade and KD go join Steph.
Yeah, but Chris,
Russ play with Harden.
But the only reason I'm not
good.
But the only reason I'm not buying what you're saying, and I hear you loud and clear, is that he did was different than these other guys because he said, if you guys want to come to Milwaukee, so that's different from I'll go to LA and I'll go anywhere I need to go. So he already in his own mind is like, I'm not going anywhere, but if you guys want to come play with me. So if you guys got to come to Milwaukee to play with me, why am I acquiescing to anybody? The two don't go together.
Well, what if he goes to Miami next year?
No, but I'm talking about what he said in the quote.
Now, he'll be their best player.
I'm just saying what he said in the quote was, if those guys want to come to Milwaukee.
Right. I hear you.
That's all I'm saying.
I'm not trying to make an excuse for him either. I'm just saying that Mark makes a good point. This is what these guys are growing up in.
I understand
they
that.
may not even come in like you and
they
me.
grew up with
they may not even come in thinking, man, I'm going to be the man. It's my team. You know what I'm saying? Like some do. I mean, I think of Damian Lillard. Some of these other guys still feel that. But let's be honest. If Damian Lillard doesn't win a ring, nobody's going to hold that against him like they would against Giannis or LeBron or KD.
But Chris, this is the difference, and I bring this up. Back in the day, and I hate to sound like the old man, hey, you kids, get off my lawn guy. But
I'm going to sound like that guy.
In the old AAU, right, it would be like 3 or 4 of the top players in Detroit. And they play on different AAU teams,
right.
Chris,
You're
right? What did they want to be? They wanted to be recognized as the best player in the city, right? Now, all 3 or 4 of those guys play on one AAU team. They beat everybody, which is nobody because there's no other talent.
Right. They wipe out all the other
everybody
kids.
else.
Yeah.
This is the mentality now. So you're right. They are more used to playing with other stars because that's what they did in AAU.
All right.